use my Lua tools here, but Twitch expired it, so I'm going to make another one and post this one on YouTube, so stick around a little longer. So first off, when you download it from the link, it'll give you a zip file, and you need to unzip it in the Lua directory. So one problem, so to know where that is, if in the game, if you type /data folder and hit enter, it will open up a window which will take you to here. App data roaming portal area, Shroud of the Avatar. Of course, this is assuming Windows. And if you're on a Mac or Linux, the path will be different. However, caveat here, there is a bug in the Lua code, not my Lua code, but the Shroud stuff, where images don't load. And since my stuff relies on images, you won't see much, unfortunately. So hopefully you're running Windows. Anyway, so when you get the zip file, unzip it into this Lua directory. And so you'll have OCX Tools Lua right in the Lua directory, and then an OCX folder underneath, which is where it keeps all of its configuration and images and things like that. So sometimes a lot of people will unzip it in Shroud of the Avatar Lua, and then underneath this it'll be a whole other subdirectory called OCX Tools or whatever, but that's too deep. You need to bring it up into the Lua directory. So just FYI. That's an issue that some people have had. All right, so once you've got it installed, you can have a Lua tab up here. So if you make a tab that shows Lua down here, you can see the Lua output, and you hopefully will see loaded Lua file, and then the name of the file, and that will also say for a list of commands, type bang OCX help in local chat. So if you want to see that. This will just kind of give you, what can I do? How do I run the tools? So here you'll notice I'm in local chat. So if I type bang OCX Tools, hit enter. Oh, sorry, OCX Help. There we go, OCX Help. We get a list of all the commands that you can execute. So you'll see that there's Control-Shift F12 will toggle the toolbar. That's what this little guy over here is. So if I hit Control-Shift F12, you'll see how it comes and goes. So by default, when you first install, you'll have the toolbar. It'll probably be in a different location, but the nice thing about all my windows is you have this little star button in the corner. If you click it, you can then drag the window anywhere you want, and then click it again, and it will stay there. And that's persisted across sessions as well. So you can just put it wherever you like, and it'll stay there. So I like mine down in the corner over here. Okay, so, uh-oh, hold on. My guildies are trying to invite me to a party. I better say, one sec, making a video. All right, anyway. So I'm going to go through each of these commands, but before I get to the commands, I need to show you the windows that the commands apply to before they'll make sense. So on the toolbar, you'll notice that we have a bunch of buttons. The first one's XP. So if you click the XP button, you'll see this little window appear that shows you your current adventuring pool and producer pool, how much XP you have. And also this shows you a percentage right here, which is how close you are to attenuation. And actually just this morning, Chris sent out a tweet saying he's going to be getting rid of attenuation. So this feature probably won't be around too much longer. But in the meantime, basically it keeps track of, assuming that you're not training any skills, it'll keep track of how far you are into 2 million XP over the last hour. And if you do hit attenuation, it'll put the little attenuation icon here, so you can just kind of see it at a glance instead of having to open up your skill window and check down here. All right, so let's if we go fight something. I just picked a nice easy area so I can talk and do stuff without having to worry about getting killed or something. All right. So you notice it's still at 0%, and the reason for that is because in Shroud, it actually takes sometimes upwards of 30 seconds before the XP will even show up here. And I'm using the values that they're giving to me, so I have to wait until it shows up. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. But when it does, then you'll see the XP go up and the percentage go up. So while we're waiting for that, let me show you the daily stats window. Here we go. So in the daily stats window, this resets each calendar day, and it shows you how much gold you've picked up and how many kills you've done for the day. So you notice I killed these two guys and I have 2 kills. And if I loot him, I get 57 gold. You'll notice, oh hey look, I got 57 gold. I do it again, 46 more gold, so now I'm up to 102 gold for the day so far. It just kind of, some people find it useful. Okay, looks like the XP kicked in. So you'll notice that we're 0.31% towards attenuation. Obviously this is not a very high level area. There's no way you'll ever attenuate here, but that's not the point of this demo. Alright, so, and of course if you do something that get you some producer XP, that will also show up in the producer pool. Alright, so I got 3 more kills, so we're up to 5. And let me show you another window now. We have the attack stats. So on the attack stats, it shows you, let's see if we can get it a little more clear. So just sort of a summary of the attacks that you've done. So like I have 42 attacks that I've done so far. My max damage is 396. My total damage is 3,993. My average damage of all my hits is 95. And I've got 20% of my hits are criticals. So it's just sort of a quick at a glance, how am I doing? And you'll notice there's this little R button right here. So at any time you like, you can hit that and it will reset your stats back to 0. So, if you want to see how did I do during this last fight or whatever. Alright, so now we can explain this first command down here, add gold. So in my daily gold, it shows me the gold that I've picked up. But some things, when you get gold, there's no log entry, and so I have no way to know about it. So for example, if you talk to the Oracle, or if you make a vendor sale or something. So this is a way for you to keep track of that as well. So let's say that I had talked to the Oracle and got my daily 500 gold for that. I could say add gold 500, and you'll notice it added 500 gold to my daily totals. So that's what that command is for. Alright, now let's look at the loot window. So over here we have the loot tracker, and there's a lot of requests for enhancements to this that I'll probably get to eventually. But for now, what it does is you can specify what kind of loot that you're interested in. And this is just the list that I happen to have right now. And it's dynamic, so I don't try to track every kind of loot there is. I let you pick what loot you're interested in. So for example, let's say that I wanted to track suet. You can say add loot, type down here. So if I say bang add loot suet, oh, and it's case sensitive, so make sure you get the capital S there, and I hit enter. Now you'll notice that suet showed up in the list over here. Hold on, let me take care of this archer. Okay. As you're out harvesting things, these numbers will go up. So let's find some kind of something that will give us. Oh, here we go. Here's an ore node. So you notice that I am tracking iron and granite blocks and whatnot. So we're going to get some iron and granite blocks out of here. So as I mine this guy, it seems to take forever when you're actually waiting for it. Okay. Alright, so I have a nickel, an iron, and a granite. So if I get it, you'll notice, oh look, nickel, iron, granite, they all showed up. And so it's just a counter, and it just counts up and up and up. And at any time, like, oh, you know what, I'm tired of tracking suet. I can say remove loot suet, and it is no longer in my list. And let's say that, you know what, I've been tracking silver for a while, but I want to know how much silver I got, during this particular mining trip. So I can say reset loot silver ore, and the counter for silver will reset to 0. And if I just want to reset everything, I can say reset loot all, and everything goes to 0. And then it starts over. So that's what those commands do and how this works, and it's pretty handy to kind of see, how much of whatever that you're getting as you're out and about during the day or over a course of a week or however long you like to track it. So let me get some more attack stats going, and then I'll show you the attack detail window, which is got all sorts of information. So we go fight some more guys over here. All right. Oh, got an archer sneaking up on us. Sorry, trying to talk and play at the same time is a little bit challenging sometimes. I can see why Chris sits there and stares at a wall half the time while he's doing things. All right. So, so we got 33 attacks and max damage, whatever. But what if I wanted more detail? I can go open the attack detail window, and this will show me all sorts of stuff. So it basically lists all the attacks that I've done based on, and it sorts it by total damage. So, thrust, double slash, offhand, and here's how much damage. Here's how many of each kind of attack I've done. How many of them have been criticals, the average damage of each type of attack, standard deviation for non-crits versus crits. And I'll be expanding this too a little bit in coming releases to show even more information. And below, it shows the damage that you've taken. So, I've been hit 3 times with the default attack, twice with a piercing shot, aim shot, disabling shot, blinding shot. Oh, looks like archers are getting me. Here's how much damage they've done, and crits and all that. And and as you're fighting something a little more interesting than these guys, these stats become quite useful. And you can also cycle through with the arrow keys to see. So this is showing me up here. But if I cycle, oh, here's what the archer did and what the archer took. Oh, here's what the mage did. Here's what, and that's all that we've attacked so far. But it'll show you for every single thing that you've fought in the list there. So that's pretty good. I wouldn't recommend keeping this up during combat because it can kind of get in the way, although you can move it off to the side if you want. But I usually just open it up, kind of glance at it, and then shut it back down. All right. There is also the magic resist window, which if you open it up, it will show you all the different magic schools and your base resist, and then your actual effective resistance based on, whatever armor and stuff that you have on. Here's how much resist you have in each of the magical schools. And the next bit is the DPS window, which will show you your DPS. So let's watch this as I'm going through this fight here. Well, I'm gonna hang out and let this guy attack me for a minute so he can actually get something on me. And this window updates once every 10 seconds, so as not to overwhelm your system. So there we go. See, he's got some DPS now. So what this does is it's damage per second, and so it shows how much total damage divided by the number of seconds over a certain sliding window of time that you've done. So I've done an average of 21 DPS, and right now it's a 5-minute sliding window. You can change that to be a 30-second window, a 30-minute window or an hour-long window if you want. The default is a 5-minute window, which is what most of the people's DPS meters have done traditionally here. So, and it sorts it from high to low and gives a relative percentage of damage that each person's doing. So, like when you're in a when you're in a party doing a nice big hard area, this actually is pretty interesting to see, kind of who's doing what. All right, I'm tired of you, mage. Go away. So anyway, so that's the DPS window. It's pretty handy to have. And then the final window is the timers. So the timers, I've got 3 timers. You can, of course, move them wherever you like. I just kind of have them over here. And there's timer 1, 2, and 3. And they have names. By default, it's just called timer 1, timer 2, timer 3, but you can rename it to be whatever you want. That's what this final command here is, which is rename timer. Give it the timer number, like let's say I want to name timer 2. We'll call it elf camp. So what that means is, okay, now it's called elf camp. And it's right now set at 5 minutes that you can add or subtract time, so we'll take 30 seconds off. Let's say the elf camp takes 3 minutes to respawn or whatever. Once I've gone in and killed all the elves here, then I can start the timer and it'll count down to 0. And as soon as it gets to 0, I know, oh cool, the elf camp is respawned, I can go back. You can have all 3 timers going at the same time, it's no big deal. So, like, I have a troll timer, like when I do Ravensmoor or something, there's 10-minute respawn on Torkdal over there in the island. So as soon as I kill him, I start the next timer so that I know that, okay, how long I have to go around and do other stuff until I go back and kill him again. And in addition to being timers that count down, there's also this button, which you can toggle, which will now make it count up, and so it becomes a stopwatch. So a lot of times that's useful for me personally, is like when I'm trying to attenuate, when I go into an area, I can start the attenuation counter and it'll count up, and after it hits an hour, I'll know, that I should have attenuated, and of course over here it'll show me how close I am. So I kind of see if I'm ahead or behind the curve on attenuation. And so in a nutshell, that is what the OCX Tools does currently. And I've got like 20 or 30 feature requests from people of things to add, and I love adding stuff, so I'll definitely be getting around to adding more things as time goes on. So if you have some feature that you'd really like, you can always message me, in the forum or on Discord or in the game or whatever, and let me know what feature you would find useful, and we can see about getting it added. So let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Attack stats, details, loot, magics, daily timers. Yep, so that's everything, I think. All right, well, thank you. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Thank you.